does is it's an ever-changing scenario right now in hospital, healthcare, long-term care facilities. There's a lot of questions with respect to whether, what areas get carpeting, what areas get hard surface, what type of hard surface, what type of carpeting, what type of backing. There is a multitude of questions that are out there from a design perspective. And obviously, Joe's going to be talking about, I would say, all of those topics as would relate to specifically what's out there in general. And I would imagine he will throw Tandis into the mix somehow or another as to what their successes are.
Just a little, maybe.
Just a little. So, okay.
But I think Tom should give the presentation. That was an excellent introduction. So thank you, Tom. And thank you to BSI for sponsoring this. This is a great opportunity to be here in front of you. I don't know if you realize this, but we are being videotaped today. So a lot of pressure on me, but also a lot of pressure on you all. You have to stay awake, because if you're not off, we're going to screen in on you, and it's just going to be on YouTube. It's going to be really ugly. So no, I promise you we'll keep it light. We'll keep it moving. A lot of information to share with you. Once again, my name is Joe Marter. I'm the Vice President of Healthcare for Tandis Flooring. Like a BSI, like a lot of major design firms, we segment our business at Tandis. So we go after the marketplace very similar to a design architectural firm would, and we specialize. And of course, my specialty for the company is our healthcare segment, so both acute care and senior living. And then Renee Primo is our local rep here in Milwaukee. And we have about 100 Renees. Well, actually we have one Renee, that's enough for Tandis. But we have 100 people like Renee around the country that do out there every day in their marketplace servicing all the local people. But like myself, we also segment our sales force so that our sales force can be very professional and very knowledgeable about the segments that they're selling in. So we have a corporate sales rep. Actually, Renee wears two hats. Here because she does our corporate and our A&D. And then we have another rep in the area, Ron Tomlin. For those of you who don't know Ron, he handles our end-use markets and calls on the healthcare end users, the education end users, and the government end users. So we like to think that we're a resource for you all. Like a BSI, we have a lot of products. Not all products are right for every application. The great thing about being with Tandis is that we have a myriad of products to offer. And Renee mentioned earlier some exciting news for those of you who have not heard. Last week, or sorry, 2 weeks ago, we were purchased, which is actually a good thing, by Tarkett. If you're not familiar with Tarkett, they're based right outside of France, so I cannot wait to go visit our new corporate headquarters.
Me too.
And they are a world leader in all floor coverings. Actually, to the best of my knowledge, they are #3 in the world. And now that we're part of the Tarkett family, we're still going to be an independent division, and we're going to concentrate on what we call the soft surface or textile flooring, because Tarkett never had any carpet, so to speak, in their portfolio. They're known for their resilient, their rubber, their woods and ceramics and other things that they are involved in, but also field turf. Interestingly enough, for those of you who are sports fans, most of the NFL that has new stadiums that have that artificial turf, not the artificial turf of the 70s, but the new stuff that's like so realistic. The Cadillac of that brand is called Field Turf. I should say the Mercedes-Benz, because you're a European company. The Mercedes-Benz of that brand is Field Turf. That's also owned by Tarkett. So I just want to throw that out, that we're part of a $3 billion enterprise now, which is tremendous for us, for resources. But today's presentation is not going to be any more about us. I'm done talking about Tandis and about Tarkett. And what we're going to talk about is flooring for healthcare. And what we're going to use is an evidence-based design approach. Now, how many of you are familiar with evidence-based design? Okay, for those of you whose hands are up, do you consider yourself resident experts, moderately intelligent about the principles of evidence-based design, or just know the Reader's Digest version? Anybody? Moderate. Moderate. Any experts? That's good, because I don't want to be upstaged here today. So it's you know the definition of an expert is, right? You all know that. You need to know at least 1% more than your audience. So as long as I know 1% more than you in this room collectively, then I am the so-called resident expert here on evidence-based design. So we're going to use evidence-based design. We're going to use those principles to define the proper flooring for different applications in healthcare. All right? And then we'll talk more about exactly how you define evidence-based design and what the key principles are for those of you that are not familiar with it. So Renee, give me a click, page down, just arrow down. Okay. Our agenda for today, for the next 45 minutes or so, you probably realize I speak very quickly. There's 2 reasons for that. One, my family's from Brooklyn, New York, so it's just an occupational hazard, I guess, or a family hazard. And then I have a lot of information to share with you in 45 minutes. So hopefully you'll remember most of what I say today. But these are the bullet points we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about why is it so challenging. Tom kind of hit on this. It's so challenging to select the right floor covering in healthcare applications. We're going to talk about why is that so challenging for you all. We're going to talk about what are the different options. This is not a carpet presentation. Even though Tandis is thought of as a carpet manufacturer, we're going to talk about all flooring for healthcare today. We're going to use, like I said, the meat of the presentation. We'll be utilizing evidence-based design, patient-centered design, to make decisions that are in the best interest of the patients, the staffs, the residents, and the visitors. All right, we're going to start talking about perception versus reality, and we're going to talk about things about clients might have a tunnel vision of what they think is the right product. The evidence may or may not support that. That's a challenge for all of us, because when people believe something, they're passionate about it. Even when they're wrong, they're still very passionate about it. If we have time, of course you're here, and we're here at BSI, so they certainly can address these questions for you. My background is installation. Grew up in the flooring business. My family had a flooring contractor business for 20 years in Connecticut. So I grew up spreading glue, laying asbestos tile, yes, asbestos tile, all right, and all that nasty solvent adhesives. You know, I don't really think I was adversely affected by all that. I was actually 6'4" when I started in the flooring business, so I'm not sure if there's a correlation there with the solvent and the adhesives, but it was a lot more fun sniffing glue in the 80s than it is today, I'll tell you that. And then we're going to summarize at the end and give you guys a nice little recap. A couple housekeeping items. Number one, we have a sign-in sheet. Are there any AIA registered architects? Okay, good, that one's off the list. Are there any certified interior designers that need credit for being here? Okay, you will need to fill out a form on your way out. Just ask for your name, your address, your EDAC number, so that we'll submit it on your behalf. And then also there's a little, did you pass out the little evaluation forms? Okay, so at the very end, if you could do me a favor, just to help me get better at my craft, just fill out that evaluation form. I think it's only 4 or 5 questions, and it's very quick to fill out. I would appreciate that. So with that said, we'll get going. If there's any questions, I absolutely encourage participation. I know that you all are eating right now. That's fine. You all sit back, relax. I'll do the talking for now. But I really would hope that we can get an interchange, some interactive dialogue going once you all are done eating. Okay? Because it helps me if I answer questions specific to you. I'm not going to sit up here and lecture you. I don't read from a script, even though there is a script. I created the script, so I pretty much know it. But we're going to talk about what's important to you. So if we get to a slide, and you see something on the slide, it's like, oh my God, that's Brookdale's largest problem right there. Can we spend 5 minutes talking about that? Absolutely, let's do that. All right? I'm here to help you. Hopefully we'll get through it all. If we don't, you're still going to get credit for being here. So, why is flooring for healthcare so challenging? For the interior designers in the room, put your hands up. Okay, I'm not sucking up, I promise you, but I applaud you for what you do. And the reason I applaud you is because all the knowledge, all the schooling, all the codes, all the things that you have to know as an interior designer, it just boggles my mind that you guys have to know, ladies I should say, have to know all this stuff, right? You work endless, countless hours. I know you do. You work here till 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You're probably working on the weekends. And quite honestly, I probably shouldn't say this if there's a boss in the room, but you're probably not compensated for as hard as you work. So I know it's a labor of love. I know that's the reason you do it. So either you're a little bit crazy or you just really love it. All right? Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of both maybe?
Yeah.
But to make it matters worse, you've decided to get into healthcare design. So it's not just that you got into design, which is a grueling profession. You decided to make your life even more miserable, more challenging, and you decided to go into healthcare design. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why you're all nodding your head, and I know I'm saying this facetiously, but I really mean this, is that the challenges in healthcare, there's a myriad of things that you have to solve. When we sell carpet, we Tandis Flooring, when BSI goes to a corporate end user, and they go and they sell carpet, let's say, and they're selling carpet tile to IBM or Bank of America, whoever the client might be, there's about 3 things on that list that they're concerned about. And I'm simplifying this, but obviously the aesthetic. Everybody always cares about the aesthetic. They always care about the price, right? The price always comes in at some point, all right? And the other thing they may be concerned about is the sustainability. They're concerned about the environmental impact. So when we go through an RFP for someone like a Bank of America, trust me, it's more lengthy than that. But those are like the 3 key things. And if you can have the best looking product at the best price and it's very sustainable, you'll probably win. It's that easy. When you have to do the same thing for a senior living group or an acute care hospital system, is Aurora here?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, okay, thank you, Aurora. So glad you're here. So when we're dealing with clients like that, look at the laundry list of stuff that we have to provide a solution to.